Travis from Silvercore. We're at the Norma factory in Sweden. We're going to learn a ammunition that's made from the best. Ready? Okay, hold up. Before I get into this, let me explain what brought us over to Sweden to begin with. It all started when one of Sweden's top country music stars offered to record a brand new custom intro for the Silvercore podcast. And he invited me and my wife to hunt with him and his friends in historic Solleron in Mora, Sweden. Now, people can get pretty particular and brand loyal when it comes to the type of ammunition that they use in their rifle. And I get it. You find something that works well in your rifle, you use it for a while, you build confidence in it. Why switch it up? Now, I've been using Norma Ammunition for years. I was first introduced to the brand as a teenager when I was shooting precision rifle competitions here in British Columbia. It shot really well in my rifle, and the brass was always highly prized by reloaders, which is fantastic if I wanted to reload my own ammunition or if I wanted to sell my casing so I could buy some more ammunition. I reached out to Norma in Sweden and they put me in touch with Jonas Hellentin. I've put an arrow here so you don't get the two of us confused. Now, Jonas tells me that Norma was first set up by the Enger brothers in Norway at Oslo. They were making Spitzer bullets and Sweden just had to have them.
So they hopped on the train in Oslo, and Oslo is quite close to the Swedish border. And if you go like completely straight to the east, you land in a small town called Charlottenberg, where a tobacco company had taken the best spot already, hopped on the train again. Next stop was Åmotfors. They jumped off there and said that, well, let's build it here. It's close to the border, we got the railway, it's got water power, whatever. And they established a factory.
Jonas tells me the factory is placed on the lake with reinforced walls all around, save the ones facing the lake, for a very specific reason.
If the powder blows, then it shouldn't, you shouldn't go into the village. It's just, aim towards the lake. So reinforced walls in every direction except for the lake. It never happened though. It never happened, but
Modern self-contained metallic cartridges are comprised of a bullet, case, powder, and primer.
So we started as a bullet company. Through the years, we got really good at also the cases.
Jonas gave us special access to the factory and showed us how to take a brass cup like this and turn it into a final case like this. Norma buys brass cups. They then heat them up and cool them down slowly to soften and normalize the brass in a process called annealing. This allows the brass to be pliable and not break when it's being stretched and formed. The case needs to be stretched and formed in multiple steps. And Norma will re-anneal after each couple of steps to ensure that the brass stays pliable and removes any internal stresses. After the brass is stretched to the right size, it's time for it to be pressed, which gives the case its flat bottom, primer pocket, and the head stamp with the caliber and manufacturer information.
Goes in from this stage, punch out to get the head stamp on there and the primer pocket. You can see it right over here.
It gets annealed again and the case neck gets formed and the primer hole is created. Next, the case is trimmed to length and the rim gets cut into the case. The case is at its final dimension. Now it's time to wash, polish, and inspect for quality control. Every single case is checked to ensure that they are uniformly made and of the highest quality.
Now, as it comes through here, you're going to take a picture and each and every single round, sometimes clear, see that the case length and the neck size is all going to be perfect. Don't showcase that's what you're everything here.
The completed cases are separated into large boxes by caliber and stacked up in this room prior to being made into a complete cartridge. As we walked, I commented to Jonas how efficient and team-oriented everyone in the factory worked. I was particularly struck by how humble people at Norma were. Even when talking to the inventor of a certain process or technology, they would still be visibly uncomfortable to take credit for it.
When we talk in the organization, when we speak to each other in the organization, we very rarely use ourselves as a pronoun. I, this is my idea, this is, it's, even if it's my idea, it's still our team's, effort that took us here. So we, usually go like we, us, etc. And because it's also, it feels a little bit, for Sweden, it feels a little bit like stepping out, saying like it basically for us, it's like, well, what about all the other people that contributed to this in one way or the other? It's, you don't want to forget them. And it's a little bit, we look a little bit, to people who start speaking like that.
Next, we learn how a bullet is made and the science behind Norma's bonding technology.
Like the brass case, bullet construction is a multi-step process. The bullet copper cup goes through the conveyor belt and is sorted into a press that draws out the general length and width. The lead comes in big spools like this. It gets drawn out to the right diameter, cut to the proper length, and the waste gets recycled back into large spools. Here, ballistic tips are fed into a machine along with the copper cup and the lead core, and they go through a progressive series of dies to join the components and shape them into that familiar bullet shape. Bonded bullets, which Norma is known worldwide for, is a process of injecting a proprietary liquid into the copper jacket, inserting the lead core, and then heating the bullet to properly fuse or bond the material together.
One of the processes that we really managed to master, I would say, is our bonding technology. We are quite proud of that. For me, one of those eureka moments was when I really started to understand. You can really see like the visual difference between what bonding does, compared to basically the majority of non-bonded soft point bullets on the market today. So you want to create bullets that have a lot of good terminal ballistics, a lot of energy delivery, a lot of penetration, etc. And those bullets usually traditionally will break up, destroy everything, etc. But with the bonding technology, they hold together, they control the expansion, and you can still make use of all the meat. For us, that's a very, very important stuff. And the reason why we put so much effort into that is that's the way Scandinavians hunt. We have big animals, the moose, for example. You want to take the animal down, but not destroy too much meat.
Here, each case has a primer inserted. Primers are extremely explosive, and great care is taken when priming and adding gunpowder to drastically reduce a possibility of a negative consequence.
If that were to burn or something happened, that's all that burns. When that laser comes down, it'll fill more in up to about this line right here. It's a good safety mechanism.
The ammo is put into their packaging, which also has Norma's keen attention to detail. The case holders are created out of recycled material infused with wood fibers and are specifically designed to take a spark and light a fire.
I was really impressed with Norma's ballistic laboratory and the level of precision and research and testing they do to ensure that every batch they produce is within tight quality tolerances.
Barreled actions are clamped into weighted sleds which are designed to eliminate the human factor when testing for accuracy. The chambers are specially set up to measure the pressure after each shot. Rounds are fired into targets and recorded by camera and computer to ensure every batch of ammunition is within tight accuracy specifications.
Ready?
Bullets are fired into ballistic gel to simulate how they would work while hunting and to test the many proprietary advancements Norma makes when making new bullets.
We're developing a new product in the factory now, and we wanted to test like a coating on the bullet. So we spent 3,000 shots just testing that coating. That was just one aspect of the bullet.
But even if you have the most accurate ammunition in the world being shot out of the best guns that money can buy, you still need to know how to use it properly. And that's where the Norma Academy comes in.
Norma Academy for us is basically just an umbrella for all types of content that engages, inspires, and educates people into the actual, hunting culture and everything that goes into the lifestyle of hunting and shooting. If we can make people better and more confident, they make better decisions. They make better decisions on, how to hunt. They also make better decisions on what products they should use.
The machines and the science behind all of the ammunition was cool, don't get me wrong, but what really stood out to me were the people behind the company.
You have people who has been working there for generations, and it's not very uncommon for people that work there like 30, 40 years. I think that brings sort of a little bit like a family feeling, I would say. And I think you felt it too when you were up in the factory. People are extremely friendly, and it's almost like a family sort of culture. We live and breathe what we do. It's part of our life. We know people in the factory privately and both online and offline sort of, but I think that sort of family culture gives some sort of pride, but also responsibility to what you're doing. Objective is not to get more pieces of the cake. Our objective is to make the cake bigger. So if we can make the cake bigger, even if our competitors are benefiting from that too, we all benefit in the industry.
So when I look at this cartridge, I don't just see ammunition. I see a company built on passion and integrity. That's what makes Norma special. Thanks for being with me on this tour, and I'll see you next time.